Stand Up World, episode 42. Probably the best episode that we'll ever do, that any podcast will ever do. Buckle up. You're going to love this episode. Say hello to Patrick Arnold, producer, exquisitaire, exquisinaire, exquisitane. I don't know. Trying to make up a new word for the great Patrick Arnold. How are you, Patrick?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well, actually. Things are good. And I'm excited about today's show. Don Knotts is our guest, even though he died a few years ago. He was a great comedian. We've exhumed his body. We're bringing him back. The next few weeks, we're going to have a bunch of dead comedians on. That's something that a lot of podcasts aren't able to do. But we've made a deal. We are bringing on actual dead comedians, corpses. No, that's wrong. I don't even know what I'm saying now. Please forgive me. Patrick.
Mike.
What am I saying? We have I was with you when I first saw Katherine Blanford. When I first saw her, we were at the Comedy Crockpot in Boston. John Tobin's Comedy Crockpot. Was that? Wait, that's not the name of the club.
No, it's the Laugh Boston.
Laugh Boston. But I thought that it was called, for some reason, it had an odd name like Comedy Crockpot or the comedy Tomb. No, it was the Weston Comedy Convention Center.
Yep.
It was the volleyball club. No, but it was Laugh Boston, and she killed. She blew me away. I thought she was fantastic, and she's doing very well. If you can see her, she's got a Don't Tell. What is it called? Don't Tell comedy.
Yep. Don't Tell set.
Yep. Which I think she does some good bits on. She's very strong. Social media, one of the new popular ways to pop, and she's doing. I really think she's one of the strongest acts working right now. She's here today, so let's just get going, huh? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Katherine Blanford. Katherine Blanford, how are you?
Just peachy. Trying to figure out which time zone I am in and if it's okay to wake up at this hour.
You're in the Thailand Thai zone is what they call it, right?
Is this? Are we above Thailand? I have no idea.
We're right. We're zeroing in. Let me ask you a question, though. Seriously.
Yes.
What's the painting you've got? The poster on your bed behind you.
This is. I just got it framed. It's some artist I found on Instagram, and now it's the first time in my life I've actually made money, and not a lot, just like actual money.
I heard you're making millions.
I'm making hundreds.
Hundreds.
And I clearly don't know what to do with it. And now all of a sudden I have money and I'm like, I'm going to support the arts. And so this artist on Instagram, of course, she was running a 50% off sale. And I was like, it's time for me to buy art. So I bought art from her. She mailed it to me and then I had it shipped in. I don't know who I am, but I think I'm an artsy girl now. I'm not. I just don't know what to do with money now.
So that's great, and you're doing well. I love that you're doing well. You could have dressed up a little better for my podcast, you know.
This is Lululemon.
I don't.
Mike, help her. What should she do with the money now that she has it?
She should probably invest in Stand Up World.
Ooh.
Is it public?
It's a stock. It's on the Thailand stock market. It's you know, you can either invest in that or Young Boys we're selling. But it's one or the other.
Young Boys is an investment. It's a risky investment because you don't know.
It's risky, but they grow strong and they last long.
Right. You don't know if it's going to be, Disney child star. They could grow up to be a Justin Timberlake or a Lindsay Lohan. That's risky when you invest in children.
That's right. That's true. They
Yeah.
could steer. They could have one bad weekend and it's all
hmm
over.
I know. That's what I'm obsessed with Beyonce. And it's not in like a cliche way. I really appreciate her for her work ethic. And the thing I admire so much about her is how much she's grown, and everything she does is is better and different than what she was before. And I'm like, I think she is one of the few that were artists who had success young and have continued to develop and be better. And I
Well,
think
wait,
it's
she
because
wasn't a Disney star, was she?
she wasn't a Disney star, but she was like
Destiny's
14.
Child. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she was
right.
still
Yeah.
14. She was a child, and she did all of the things. She did movies and music and everything else. And like, I think a lot of those kids lose their mind. And she still is still very, I mean, she's amazing. She's the best living artist we have, in my opinion. But she's still very level headed and grounded.
I think the best living artist we have is on that bed behind you, the one you got from Instagram,
MC Queen
MC
is her
Queen.
name.
I want to talk about you because I'm like, I actually am really a big fan of you. I would invest in you. I
Thank you.
really, I was actually with Patrick. By the way, say hello to Patrick. You met
I
Patrick.
You
We
give
were,
Patrick such a little square on the
that's,
side.
he doesn't deserve even that. I got to be honest with you. He's lucky to have that. Believe
Uh,
me,
Yeah, at least you made
he's
him in color. I've heard
he's
other
part of
people.
this. Yeah. You see other guys don't even give color to their producers.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
brutal.
They're just black and white.
I'm going to be really honest with you, Catherine. In post, he won't even be on screen.
Yeah.
Good,
I'm only going to
Okay.
pop up when we're talking to me. So
good. He's wearing. I have Lululemon on. He clearly has Old Navy on. It's not worthy of the screen.
Yeah,
you got me.
you dressed as if, dozens of people were going to download this thing and it's really going to be hundreds of people
I,
around the
I,
world.
Look at my
Okay?
pink headphones. I'm an adorable. I'm a little casual chic.
Yeah, you are. But Patrick was with me. Patrick works with John Tobin and those guys. Uh,
Mhm.
when I met you at the Boston, what, Laugh Boston.
Yeah,
Is that what's
I
Laugh
love
Boston?
that
Is that
club.
yeah? And I was with Patrick, and that's when I met you. So they booked you there, and he works there, and he kind of slums with me producing my podcast. So
I love that club. I brought in tens of people, and they were still
no,
no, actually, I had
you
some good
killed it
crowds.
there. You killed it
Uh,
there.
yeah, it was very I like a Boston audience a lot. They're smart,
Yeah.
but insane too. Usually gets insane or smart, but they're a mix of both, and I love that club. You get to stay at the Westin, right?
Stay at the Westin, and they usually have 6 or 7 different conferences going on there. So,
Mhm.
8,000 different kids that playing volleyball from 1,100 different high schools, and you just have to wait for the elevator for about an hour.
Yeah,
But it's good. The night I saw you, you had a great set, and
thank you.
and but and then didn't you go to Detroit next? You went to
Yeah.
Laugh Detroit. Is it? Do they
Yeah, is
call it
it
Laugh?
Laugh Detroit?
It's
I don't
Detroit
know.
House of
House of
Comedy.
Yeah, 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 House of Comedy. Yeah, I did do that. Was there no. Side note beside that. I'm after staying in so many hotels and being amongst all the conferences, I don't mind anybody besides a 4-H convention. I did Indianapolis when there was a 4-H convention in town, and those were the most pent up, sexually pent up teenagers, and it was a an energy that I'll never want to experience again. So I don't mind volleyball tournaments or work conferences as long as it's not a 4-H conference.
I didn't even
Um,
realize they had 4-H clubs anymore. I thought that was like something from the 50s that was still there in the 70s.
They were giving each other like no, I don't. It's not piggyback rides because there would be somebody on all four in the streets with somebody on top of them.
Jeez.
So yeah, I went to Detroit afterwards in the middle of a snowstorm. Truly a snowstorm, uh, like up to past your knees. Um,
That's
but we
right. I
didn't. We
remember that.
didn't cancel.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And are you on the road a lot?
Mm-hmm. All the time. I'm doing my own weekends. Last year's kind of when I popped off and started touring and was doing a lot of one-nighters, when I first started, and then have graciously have already transitioned mostly into weekend gigs. And then I get to pop in between like doing my weekend and then I'll do a weekend opening for Spade. I've started to pick up some Burt Kreischer shows. I'm doing a weekend with him coming up in
Those
Portland,
those
Seattle.
those seem like a lot of fun.
I haven't
Those
done
are
them yet, but I'm so excited.
oh oh that's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
then,
he's
so like I switch back and forth between my weekend and then opening. So you'll stay at the Ritz one weekend and then the Hilton, and it's fun. It's fun to see what you can amount to, and then it's fun to be humbled back into what level you're at.
yeah,
So
that's great.
you have
Yeah,
some motivation.
that's great. And it's that's also I think it's good for you probably to be with have your own audience, you know?
It is, and I appreciate open. I appreciate being on the road. It's fun to be on the road with friends too, but it is so fun to come back to my own show and have my own freedom and be able to, take your time. You don't have to feel like you're just there as a cheerleader. Kind of as you're opening, you
That's
just
right.
do, you have a job and it's not to sell yourself, it's to sell the show more. And then but when it's your own show, it's your own rules and it's so fun.
And are you still home based out of Atlanta?
Nope. Half.
No?
I'm in LA now.
Oh yeah?
Hmm.
And why? I mean who wants you in LA? Let's be honest. I
I
mean
know, but I was making too much money in Atlanta and I said it's time to give some to the government.
yeah, that's right. No,
Um,
I'm curious because to me it seems like is I think you have everything going for you. All
thank you.
kinds of star quality. You're a balls to the wall, great comic.
Thank you.
But it just doesn't seem like if I were getting started right now, or if I were at your level right now, not even getting started, like popping, I don't think you'd have to be in LA anymore. There's nothing in LA anymore.
Well, I was in Atlanta and I will say I was kind of I'm childless. I'm not married and I've done all I can do in Atlanta. I can do the same things in LA. Why not take the chance while I have the chance to see what LA has to offer? To see if going up in a different market that has more exposure matters. I mean, why the hell not? It's like what being in Atlanta, nothing is going to change. So I was like, I I started to kind of like popped off and then I started to get auditions. I never really wanted to act. I didn't think that was going to be a thing for me. And then, who knows if it even ever is going to be a thing for me, but I was like, why don't we expand our abilities and see what else, what other doors can be open in your career. So I was kind of like, I mean, I have, I don't really have many anchors, so might as well take the leap now.
No, I get that. I mean, what is it you want to do?
Good. Thank you, God, for asking that question. Um, I honestly, if I had my perfect world, stand up is my love. I want to just, I'd love to just, honestly, I would love to tour the world in theaters, and I'm learning how to do an hour on the road, and eventually, I'd love to do kind of like a whole like hour that's almost like Mike Birbiglia kind of style, but it's more my style where it's it's one story or one topic, And because I think those are genius when you can create a whole hour over around like a central idea. And then I would love to create my own show. I want to write. I want to. Um, I would love to be in it.
Like, give me an example of whose kind of show, like a Curb Your Enthusiasm, or a 3 camera sitcom, like
Like a
uh,
hacks,
like a
but not
Hacks.
yeah. But I don't want to do stand up. I have an idea for a. I want it. Yeah, more dramedy.
All right, that's
Uh,
interesting. So I guess if you want to do that, there's still a reason to be in LA nowadays, huh?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. And you have a good agent or manager that's helping you do that.
Great. Yeah, I
Good.
I I've lucked out with a team. Uh,
That's great.
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
That's
I'm
great.
just like trying
Well, listen, we
to.
have we have both your agent and manager on the line here. Put them on, Patrick, and they have to talk to you about something.
Good. I've been trying to contact you guys for
Yeah,
6 months.
no, it's not going to work. It's not working out, Catherine. They want to talk to you about something.
There
No,
you go.
no. I'm glad. I'm really happy for you because I don't. I don't. It seems to me that people are doing it, are making it so far away from LA now. But I'm glad. It's nice to know. You
I mean,
know.
maybe I'm not right, but even if I'm not right,
No,
it's not
I
what I
think
don't
you
have
are
much to
right.
lose.
I think you are right. But and listen, I have a son. My son is 29,
Congratulations.
and he's killing it but he's a writer, director, an actor, and he's making his own movies,
Yeah.
and he's doing it. But he wants to stay here in LA. And I keep saying you can live anywhere you want, and I don't know what you're so enthralled with LA for.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and maybe I'm naive because I feel like I'm coming from Atlanta and I haven't been here. But I do think there is something to say about the exposure and meeting people. And there is a meeting people who have like-minded goals and ideas. And I think people that are making it outside of the LA, New York, they're they're killing it. But I think it's a lot more um social media character, social media presence, and
right.
which lends itself to touring. You can tour off that, you can build your audience, you can sell tickets, which is the ultimate goal. But I don't think there's as much energy and collaboration behind like film,
Let
TV,
me ask you a
movies.
question. Does that, because you have a big social media presence,
Hmm.
does that
Somehow.
help you? Are you playing are you playing the Store and the Improv and Laugh Factory and all those clubs?
Yep, starting
Yeah,
to, yes, get my foot in the door.
good,
Yeah.
good. Because I,
Yeah.
I haven't seen you up in any of those clubs, and
Thank
but
you.
maybe I've just missed you. But that's great.
I'm at the store tonight.
Are
Uh,
you? Great,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've done my own headlining shows at the Belly Room a couple times, and then now I'm doing the produced shows.
good.
So yeah, and I'm starting. I was at the Improv a couple nights ago, and yeah, I'm in and out a lot of LA though, so I think that may
Y-
be a hindrance
Yeah.
to me. But I'm not. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna. Most people's goal is to be on the road, which I am on the road a lot. So I'm taking my time.
Listen, to me, the it's I think it's a combination of you got to be really patient, but you got to have really strong goals, and you
Mhm.
got to be really impatient. You know,
Yeah,
that's one of the things. I think my son is doing so well because he's got ants in his pants, but he's also has been forced to be patient. You know.
yeah. I think I always am like, what like you remember like all put in all that work that you do in the shadows So all of a sudden one day somebody's gonna be like, dude, she just popped up out of nowhere. And you're like, no, I did. I woke up at 8 a.m. and wrote for 2 hours and then went to the gym. And then every day was like, what are my 3 things I'm contributing to my career today? Like, is it a social media clip? Is it a podcast, etc.? Is it writing a script? And I like every day I'm constantly going, what is your like, I'm not like inner shadow work, but I like call shadow work like your, what you do in the shadows, working on your career. And yeah, I think I don't know. I think that's just what, because I'm super antsy too, and I'm like, the minute a reel doesn't do well and you don't have a weekend gig, you're like, what am I doing? And so I just try and focus on my career shadow work for the day.
Do you write a lot?
Yeah.
It feels like when I watch your act, it feels like you write a lot on stage, but I bet you that's not true.
No, I go through a whole notebook a month. I have to write. I have to write. I write in my journal, and then right now I'm typing it all out, and because I'm about to record an hour in December, and then on stage I kind of go. I like to. Then I kind of let go on stage, and then I like let the little riffs or whatever in between happen, and then I'll go back and listen, and then find the riffs, and then add those to the bit.
Yeah, and you're going to record an hour in December. Where?
Louisville, my hometown, where I went to high school.
Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
There happens to be a House of Louisville. Is that what it's called, or Laugh Louisville? Or
Laugh
what
Louisville,
kind of
yeah.
Isn't
what kind of fucking chuckle hut do you people have there?
Yep, Laugh Louisville. No, but where are you recording it?
I know I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't even have plugged it because it's not at Laugh Louisville. But
It's all right.
I booked this, I think, before you guys had opened. You all are at 4th Street Live.
Yep.
I'm at
We're
the
relatively new, so
yeah, I'm at the other club.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
I know, but I
Jesus,
swear I was
Catherine.
booked there. I was booked there
You
before you
come
guys
on
even
here
opened.
dressed all funky, and the place is a mess. You're at a competitor's club than Patrick's. It's
Hey,
just
you brought it up.
it's all love, Catherine.
I know. I would love to come back because you guys are at 4th Street Live, and that's where, when I was in high school, I used a 32-year-old's fake ID, got in, no problem.
Hey, can I tell you the best comedy club story I've ever heard in my life?
I'm ready.
I we were standing in front of the Improv the other night, and this guy told us this story, and I got to tell it really gingerly. But this headliner had this black guy opening for him, and on Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday,
He
he
was white.
He was white.
Okay.
And the black guy was killing, doing this whole routine, just going, who's that crazy N-word? Who's that crazy N-word? I'm that crazy N-word. And then he'd have the crowd saying, who's that crazy N-word? And they'd go, you're that crazy N-word. Who's that crazy N-word? I'm that crazy N-word. And just the whole act, and it was just high energy. And on Thursday
then Jeff
night,
Foxworthy gets on.
No, then the white guy gets on stage on Thursday night, and he goes, hey, how about a big hand for that crazy N-word? And he uses the word, and he gets a big laugh with it. It was like bold. He did it,
No.
Yeah, he did it. He got a big laugh with it. And he got away with it. It was bold. It was cool, which I would have done it too. The guy's using it this whole act, So the next night,
that gives me
the
hives.
comedian doesn't do the routine. The kid doesn't do the routine at all. And the white headliner doesn't watch his act. He comes out of the dressing room, he goes on stage, and he goes, how about a hand for that crazy N-word? And the audience just sits there like, what the fuck? And he cannot get the audience for like 40 minutes trying to explain to them, well, last night he was doing this thing, and I just...
I I mean, I don't even feel bad for the guy. I would never have done it.
No,
Not after I would have done it in 2011.
I don't know. I would have, but I would have made sure that I would have made sure he did it. If he did it, if he was doing it for 20 minutes, to me, honestly, I would have done it. I thought I give him a lot of kudos for doing it. It's a brave thing to do, and the audience proved that it was funny because they laughed.
Do you, do you I genuinely mean I don't know if I would have done it, but I think the fear I have from even hearing that now is just because of the internet. Dude, I think if people weren't putting out clips and there wasn't TikTok and everything else, I'd be like, dude, he got the ultimate pass. That sounds amazing. But
Yeah,
because the internet and people clip up stuff and people have been their careers have been destroyed from itty bitty little things,
yeah. I don't
that gives
believe
me
that. I
hives.
look at you know what. Look at I've just been doing stand up again for a year and a half. I stopped doing it for 28 years, and my kids and my wife begged me not to do it. They were like, you're going to say stupid things and you're going to get
Yeah.
sued or destroyed, and everything you earned and are going to leave us when you die any minute now is going to get taken away. but but but
It,
I don't think that's true. I really don't. I think uh, you know people aren't as uptight as the media and the internet is.
dude, I I thought that, and then I do you know who Ashley Gavin is? Have you heard about what happened to Ashley Gavin?
Uh-uh.
You heard this I just saw her this past weekend in New York, and this is what's giving me hives because I said something on stage the night before, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. It was one word. It wasn't a bad word. I don't want to say it. There was a guy that had like I shouldn't even say this on a podcast. I can't believe I even said it, but he had on like a pea coat with a wife beater underneath of it. And I said I didn't know that Banana Republic had a da 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 section. And it's not it's a it starts with a W. It's a white person that's
Yeah.
trying. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't want to say it again. Anyways,
Okay.
I've been freaking out
Wait,
that I
wait,
said
wait.
that.
I'll say it. You're not allowed to say wiggers anymore?
I don't know. I said it on stage, and as soon as I said it, I was like, no, 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 no. Put your phones down. I'm done. I thought I was going to be canceled after that.
I
The
didn't
next night,
I didn't know that was on a list. I mean, Sam
I don't know.
Tripoli does a brilliant routine about wiggers, you know?
Okay, this is the point I'm trying to say, though. I think it all depends on your audience. Because, like we always say, like, Tim Dillon, he's always doing stuff. Of course, he's doing it. Almost everything he's doing is he takes nothing seriously. He's making fun of everybody and everything. But
He should.
he is so unapologetic about it that he can't get canceled. And I'm not even saying he ever deserves to be, but he can't get canceled because people expect it and know it of him. But Ashley Gavin, I met her a few times. She's a great comic, but she's gay. She has a podcast called "We're Having Gay Sex." She's lesbian, predominantly LGBTQ audience. She was on stage one time. Somebody caught a clip of her like doing a crowd work, and she just within the crowd work, she says like, "Kill yourself," something, and goes on with it. Right? She has been. She do, I mean, I don't want to speak for her, but she's taken a dive. All of a sudden, she's been like bombarded with people on the internet being like, you can't tell somebody to kill themselves. This is my story, etc., etc. And I think it's because I feel like I'm speaking too much of for her, but I do think it depends on your audience. Like she has a very, very liberal, sensitive audience. And because of that, I don't know, what do you say? She slipped up. We're all just in the moment saying shit. And she does one thing during the crowd work, and it's her career's taking a nosedive because of it, because of who her audience is.
She didn't slip up. She was making a joke. She was fucking around. if anything, she slipped up by listening to him. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. You don't know. I had in 2001. I had a TV show called Mind of the Married Man that people hated. They fucking hated it. It was the
Why
most hated TV show ever.
was it on a network?
HBO. It followed The Sopranos. Okay?
It
Followed
was
The
a
Sopranos.
Sopranos infomercial.
It followed The Sopranos, and people, they would fucking write shit and say shit, and it was like, fuck off. It was like, this is trying to be the male Sex in the City, and we're making jokes. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. And at first HBO was like, just go for, our ratings were great. And I mean, we couldn't make that show now.
Yeah.
If I made that show now, they would take me out to the edge of the city and shoot me and leave me in the bushes.
You're like,
Okay.
well, can you film it?
Well, yeah, exactly. But my thing was, I never apologized for anything. I never apologized for anything, because they were jokes. And it was
Yeah.
about they were married guys thinking about all these women they wanted to fuck other than their wives. And
It's honest.
it was honest.
Yeah.
It was honest, but it was funny and it was joke. And you would get these guys, male writers and journalists, that would write about how horrible and puerile and juvenile it was. And I'm like, oh, okay. Apparently your wife doesn't like the show.
Right.
Apparently, but but my thing was, I was never going to apologize. I was never going to bring the volume down, because it was just comedy. And I think the worst thing that I see from comedians, and when I wasn't doing it and when I'm doing it now, is comedians censoring themselves.
Yeah.
And I have no desire to censor myself in any way. In any way. I did a routine last night at the Improv that was way, way out there. And my son was driving over there. He was going, you don't want to do this, but I did it and the audience loved it,
Yeah.
and it was about trans species kids, and about my next door neighbor having a dog that identifies as a beagle, keeping me up all night. And him and the neighbor and I yelling about, shut that fucking kid up. He's not a kid. He's a dog. Oh, he's a fucking kid. He's a dog. Have some empathy, and shut that fucking kid up. He's a kid.
Yeah.
Be a parent. Be a parent. I got a real dog here. He's sleeping. And a real kid. You got a
Right.
fucking something stuck in between two beings.
You go,
You can't
he's a
fucking
kid
talk
if
to
you
him.
won't put him in a cage.
Yeah, right. You either got a dog that needs a trainer or a kid that needs a spanking. Figure it out. I got to go back to bed.
Yeah.
But I don't want to censor myself. I want the audience to censor me. If they didn't laugh, it wasn't funny, and I wouldn't have done it a second. I won't do it again next week.
Right.
Okay, but I want the audience to tell me what's funny. I don't want my head or the people that I read about telling me what's funny. And that the comedians that I think are great are not censoring themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it is interesting. It's like speaking from honesty is a fun place to hear somebody talk from, and I think it's just who you decide to be from the get-go is how people are going to respond to you. If
Right.
if you get up there, because I go like this. I go, you can talk shit as long as you are also up there letting people know that you can take shit from other people. If you
Right.
talk shit and then you're offended when people talk shit back to you, you're not gonna be able to survive.
That's right. That's right. And by the way, I only say it because I love comedy. I love stand up. My whole thing is stand up world, and the world. I'm obsessed with this new world of stand up comedy. But to me, stand up is always the funniest people have always been the people that want to break the rules,
Yeah.
that want to go out on the ice and see how far they can walk before their foot gets wet, and
Yeah.
when they gotta run back to the shore. It's not. There's nothing really funny about someone on stage playing it safe. You know, when I watched you, I never thought you were playing it safe. I
Thank you.
always thought you were kind of always going to get yourself in a little bit of trouble throughout that
Ah,
whole hour. You know,
it's so funny. I feel like when I write, I have dark shit, and I tend to deviate away from it. And I've been wanting to like go back into my first couple of bits that when I started comedy that really popped off were these bits. My mom passed away when I was 22 years old, and how I had trouble uh, picking out her outfit for the casket because everything that looked good on her would look good on me.
it's
And
really funny.
and how we shared enough already, and because we both had a crush on my high school boyfriend and all this, etc. And it was really dark. It was about like seeing her body and realizing like that could be your last opportunity for a revenge body. And I had all these jokes about like, you know, if you're embalming people, you could put lungs in your tits and have a tit job. And it was gross. It was weird, but it was like really dark. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do it now. I don't know if I'm ready to like sacrifice some groans and etc. for like going back and working on that kind of material. But it is like I have a lot of, and I grew up Catholic, and I have a lot of um little like digs at Catholicism that just come out. And it's I don't know, it even still scares me to be like, okay, are we gonna venture into that? Are we ready to piss some people off? Because you come out, I don't know. It still is kind of scary. I think it's scary when you're starting out, when you kind of start to build an audience, and because I'm still on the edge, I'm still like, I don't have a safe net. So I'm
How long
like
have you been doing it now?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
And let me ask you a question. So you're going to lay an hour down,
Yeah.
and then, according to the new biblical rules of stand-up comedy, when you do your hour, you're going to have to throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flip it out. Yeah. Why not? I just built this in a year. It was so fun. I'm so proud of
in a
myself.
year,
Yeah.
you did the whole hour in 1 year. That's
Uh,
great.
yeah, year hour, year and a half. I'm kind of like, I think you could play it two ways. I think you could get, which is probably the more uh stand artful way is to focus on the hour and to perfect it, which I think honestly I'm very proud of what I've built, and I'm super confident about it. But I think the world is shifting, and I'm kind of like, I why wait another year to perfect it? Why not put it out and work on another hour after that? I think, I don't know. I was like, I'd rather, I don't want to waste time being a perfectionist on it.
Yeah, I
It's more
agree.
fun
No,
that
I
way.
agree. My question is just all these guys now, they do the hour, and to me, I think that's about right, a year and a half, an hour. But then this notion of just dumping everything and starting over, because and you go out on the road and you don't do any of that for the audience, because I think they want to see it. If they see that you're special on television or on YouTube or on wherever it shows, they're going to want to see some of that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and that way, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a good show, no matter what. So I'm not like, it's not gonna be an hour of crowd work and half-ass written shit because I just recorded an hour. I like slowly dump stuff as I'm slowly adding stuff in. I was just in Tacoma or Tulsa last weekend, and people were asking for requests, and I was doing them. It's fun.
Right, right. So that's my question: is you once you lay down a special, you're not going to get rid of the material you did in the special.
No, I will slowly dump stuff as I add stuff. It's a
Okay, good. So
fading in
then
and
if
out.
you dump the stuff about riding the horses when you were a kid, I have someone I want to give it to.
Oh, that's that horse girl. I've coined horse
I know,
girl.
I'm kidding. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
who are you gonna give it to? Yourself?
No,
Are you?
that wouldn't work for me, because let's be honest,
I
that's
don't
just a
know. I
metaphor for big dicks.
yes, I
Let's
think that's your new show. It's
yeah,
married women imagining men they want to have sex with.
yeah,
It's
that's right. No,
it's a
I was going to
sequel.
give it to a female comic friend of mine who needs your act. No,
They
no,
don't want it.
no, I just was asking because I do find that, and I really am impressed with this new generation of comedians who just are doing a new special every couple of years and just dumping all their material. But I do think that when you go on the road, you should give the audience what they've seen, a little bit of what they've seen.
You don't think, I agree with you. I'm I think I do realize like there is one bit I'm putting on this hour that I had put out on something else because I had kept doing it. I've added so much to it, and I like how it is what is transformed into. So there's one thing about if once you continue something, it still gets better. If you're not just going into muscle memory and doing it like a robot, and you're still present
Yeah,
on stage. And then
absolutely.
yeah, and then I used to get nervous because I was like, oh, people have seen this. And I think when I would start a bit that I've done a few times, I would feel insecure about it because I think that they'd be rolling their eyes. But I realized if it's not the whole hour is not what you've put out on the internet and you kind of go back and forth, it's like a concert that you're going to see. Oh, this is your favorite musician, they're doing their new stuff and they're sprinkling the
Absolutely.
hits afterwards, and you love that.
Absolutely. That's my point. That's my whole point, that people love to see a song that they heard, and they love going, oh, I love this bit. I saw this bit. And if you're really working on your stuff, even if it's the same bit, you've added little tags and little jump offs and
Yeah.
new ideas into it. But, everybody has to do it their way. That's the great thing about stand up. And I also, okay,
Does it ever break your heart
one of
though?
the problem with getting my age and being around this long is you end up kind of get it. Let me tell you how you should do it. Here's what you need to do, Catherine.
To you, no,
You know,
I let me ask you this: if you've experienced this lately, though, sometimes I am nervous to do the old hit because you're working on new stuff or whatever else. And then, and it's going good. You're like, "Oh yeah, there you go. That I've got something there." You get a great reaction from the crowd. And then you move into the hit and the hit crushes, and then your mind just going, you think you'd get a dopamine hit from really starting to crush, but then you in your mind you're like, fuck, all this new stuff is shit. I don't have it anymore. That's my best stuff. I won't ever get there.
right, right,
That's
right.
always a roller coaster in your
Yeah,
head. Do you
that's
do you know
right.
what I mean? Do you ever feel like
Yeah,
that?
totally,
Yeah.
totally. And
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I don't even like to go on if I don't have new stuff. I I
Yeah.
I I really don't. I just need to have something, a reason to go try something new.
Something to
But
be excited about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or if the set doesn't go great, you're like, well, it's new. If the set doesn't go great and you just did old shit, what's the point of living?
that's right, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, and then when I go, geez, I wish I was doing this in Louisville where I could just kill myself with some of the rest of the
Right.
crowd.
Right. I wish
You know,
I wish I'd let this girl ride me like a PBR bull.
yeah, that's right, that's
Yeah.
right. Well, anyway, I feel bad about how much I trashed that Louisville Comedy Club, because I'm really just bummed because they don't book me. But
I
yeah,
think that that's your audience too.
don't you think?
Drunk third time divorcee women.
Totally. I do so well with women whose lives never kind of came to fruition.
But yet they keep trying.
Yeah, yeah. Like my wife who just stuck it out with me for 38 years, who identifies as a hostage at this point. That's really my wife is,
She,
she's
she's.
just so
Do you
patient.
have your children? You have them together?
What do you mean together? They're not, my kids are not together. No. You mean as people?
Oh, you and your
Or
I
wife?
no,
just
you mean
feel I do
you
I
mean did my
genuinely
wife and I have our kids together?
yeah, I've never heard somebody be confused by that question before, but I think that you are so far invested in this new world that you were looking for some kind of weird question that I was asking you. But I just
Yeah, I
wasn't.
didn't know
I
what you
just
meant by that. I thought you meant maybe did we have separate kids from
you
other marriages?
I asked. I just want to replay this. I just want to check the tape.
Okay.
I go, I asked you, a white middle-aged cis man. I go, do you and do you and
Cis
your
man.
wife have
Cis man. That,
your
that
children
makes me feel like
together?
that means you'll
And
see a boil on my face or something. I don't know what that means, a cis man.
and
But
you
go
were
ahead.
so ready. You were so ready for a Gen Z question that you were like, you got offended by that question. And you're like, no,
I
my
know.
children aren't together as of what I know of. And
So
that's
the
progress.
it is progress. So let me
Mhm.
tell you the answer is yes. My wife and I have been together for 38 years and our kids are 30 and 29.
That's unheard of in this biz, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Do
yep.
you think it's just do you think the secret is just being tired?
No,
Too tired to
we
change?
accidentally killed a man early on and buried him, and it has really locked us in for the duration.
Right. So fear.
Fear and yeah, just kind of like where do you go? Why would you split up when either one of us could put the kibosh on the whole thing? No,
So the secret is paranoia.
honestly, I I got out here as a young kid from Detroit and met an met someone amazing, and I just had no interest in being serious relationship or married or anything. I was a crazy comedian and just met this amazing crazy blonde and just never looked back. I've been very lucky.
Well, you look like you guys have had um a successful life together. You have a nice leather couch behind you and an
Yeah, yeah,
expensive microphone. So it looks
yeah.
like things are going well.
That's all we have. That's really it. It's just that, you know, we
That's
don't have art. We aren't buying art off Instagram.
oh, you don't have Instagram
We
art?
really aren't. We're just no, we
Maybe
don't. We don't.
HBO money isn't what it used to
I'm
be.
not making that. I'm not making that kind of money, Catherine.
Well,
You know,
if you have some reels go viral, that's all. That's the answer these days.
is that the answer?
Yeah,
Listen.
I had one clip that really went viral about my parents being cousins, and that's what I mean about the audience that you attract. Like then I started to get like people coming to my show truly because of that clip, and I think they were expecting more of a Jeff Foxworthy experience, and they did not get it. They got somebody who had opinions about Christianity and Catholicism. And so there, I'm used to offending some people, even me with my adorable face.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought your act was pretty out there, pretty bold.
Thank you.
I I've been talking you up since then. You know,
Thank you.
so
You just wait.
I wait for what am I waiting for?
I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna
I think you're going to bring the word wigger back. Is what I think you're going to do.
I'm so scared. I woke up in a sweat in the middle of the night after I said that. Like, I said it in New York City. That was bold. But they laughed. The
The
crowd
name of your
laughed.
special is Katherine Blanford. Wiggers on me.
And it's me in a wife beater and a big giant wig.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm gonna come see you one night at the Comedy Store, the Improv.
Come. Are you going to come tonight?
I can't tonight, but let me know if one night you're playing, and I'll come up.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the second tape I wanted to play is like when you were like, "Are you getting into the clubs?" I go, "Yeah," and you go, "Huh, I haven't seen you there," and it felt like I was a little set up for.
Really? Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I'm sorry. Honestly, by the way, I didn't mean it like that at all. I meant like, oh, they don't let me in the clubs, Catherine.
Uh,
I
so
did
you're
not mean
not
that.
there to see me.
I'm not there to see you. No, I didn't mean it like that at all. I just figured
Thank
you were
you.
on the road, or I wasn't there the nights you're there. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Good cover up. Yeah, you have been married for 30 years.
I'm gonna edit that all out.
No,
I'm gonna
don't.
just.
I liked it. I loved it. Why? Oh, wait. I I
But
forgot.
I produced a
What is
bunch of shows.
is it
I
Yes,
produced a
Patrick?
bunch of
yes.
shows. You should try to come back. Hey, don't talk to him. It's gonna make.
Why is Patrick muted? Patrick is just dying
I
over
don't.
here. Patrick
He's
has a polite producer laugh. And you need the producer that's the key. I figured this out. That's the key to a successful podcast is a producer that has
That's
a great
fair.
laugh. And you're
well. Then
muting
this one's
Patrick.
not going to be
Shit.
successful
We need
because
to get me a lower laugh
You
track
can't
because I don't want to be just laughing throughout the whole podcast.
no
Like I'm not.
No, we need that. We need that. This is I'm gonna be honest. Have you listened to podcasts and you
have you heard
hear
the term special needs?
what
That's where I found him in an
that's
ad.
what that is. I'm trying to hide the dirty clothes on my floor. That's this is what every good podcast has, right? You say something and then you hear this in the background.
Of course,
Do you
of
know what I'm
course.
talking about? And that's what kills. It's the key to any successful podcast. You need a producer that laughs in the background. Even have a
I
button.
was gonna say
Just
I need
push a
two
laugh
types of
button.
gain because I need the one where I'm gonna be able to talk like this, but I can't just be laughing full volume. I gotta have that echoed out laugh like they do. Yeah,
Yeah, and you when you talk, you always got to talk like, oh, I didn't know I was being put on the spot.
of
And
course.
that's you. It's the podcast is really all about the
That's true.
producing
I'm really the star of the show.
Yes.
and the sound and this.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So you're stifling Patrick, and this is your star right
Catherine,
here.
we
Let
should
me
do
tell
the
you something. I'm not
podcast.
stifling him. He comes
I know.
pre-stifled. He comes pre-stifled. Believe
See,
me.
I'm
see,
trying.
he
I know.
left
Yeah,
with
and I
that.
even like
This is
repress my laugh now. I'm so used to not laughing fully.
yes.
Let me explain something about Patrick. You see the way his background seems like it's buzzed out.
Is that
You see that?
yeah?
It isn't. That's him in real life. Everywhere you go with him, everything around him is fuzzy.
It makes you
Yep.
feel dizzy. You're like, fuck,
Okay,
Patrick's here, and no, I can't even remember my first name. What?
that's right.
Yeah, what's my set?
Okay, but
Good for you.
wait, I was just going to tell you something. No,
Sorry.
l- um, oh,
Have
that's
you
not.
have you been able to see my fever blister in here in the
Absolutely
No,
video?
not.
All
no.
right, that
Patrick
works.
Patrick buzzes. He takes
Yep.
care of that. That's one part of his job.
I overexposed myself so it would shine out. But yeah, fever blisters. That's also that's a Gen Z STD.
I was gonna say I've never even heard of that.
Are you? Is it a cis fever blister or is it? Is it a what kind of?
Some people would say cisgendered is a more dangerous disease than a
Yeah,
fever blister. Some people would argue that. No,
okay.
it's just a cold sore,
You
but
know,
it is
I
herpes.
I don't know if I've told you my daughter's a lesbian. And when she
I
came
didn't
out,
You don't have a
yeah,
daughter.
yeah, I do. I have a
You
daughter who's a
literally can I just You said my wife and my sons. That's all you've talked about.
No,
No,
I
he
didn't.
talked
You
about
weren't
the
listening. I
daughter.
said I had a
That's all.
30-year. I have a 30-year-old daughter and a 29-year-old son,
Okay,
and
okay.
and
You have
and
a
she and she's a
lesbian daughter?
lesbian.
I'm so jealous.
She's a lesbian, and the night she came out, she kind of like brought over this whole manifesto booklet that she wrote, all the different types of lesbians there were, and so she wanted us to know what kind of, it was like, and we were like, we
What?
don't care, we don't care, it's okay, don't worry about it, and you know,
No, you should
but
care. You
no,
guys should be curating. You're her PR team. You should be curating which kind of lesbian we want. That's fun. You get to you
we
don't get to
don't we
pick
don't get to
her.
choose. We don't get to choose.
She
I
gets
was
to
like,
choose.
she gets to choose, but she wanted us to know the degrees of lesbianicism or whatever there was, and she but and then she was like going into all the different. She wanted us to understand the cis and I was like, you're making me dizzy. I got to lay down. It was so funny. It was unbelievable. But
That's
but
so. Do you talk about that on stage?
yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
so
I
good.
do. But it's
And
so
that's
true.
funny. It's like
It-
you deciding what kind of comic you want to be. Are you going to be clean? Are you going to be a crowd work comic? Are you going to be dirty? Are you going to do act outs? Are you going to sit on the stool?
oh, it was
And
amazing.
she goes, "Dad, I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care what kind of
right, right,
comic."
right. That's it. All right, then I'm doing impressions. He goes, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
a
want that.
ventriloquist.
Okay. Oh, listen, man. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I just want you
Thank
to know
you.
something. I'm such a I really think the world of you. I think you're
Thank
just
you.
great. I would put money on you. I really would. I would,
So much.
if you were a stock, I would buy stock in Katherine Blanford. And I tell everybody that all the time. I have a friend of mine who's a huge casting director, has cast all my movies and everything. And when I got done in Boston, I wrote her this whole thing about you, and she was
Oh,
like, "Okay, okay, I got it."
thank you.
So
Tell her
so
my
I
fever blisters clear up.
no, she said to me, she said, "Oh, I heard she's got some serious cis fever blisters, and I
Yeah.
also heard she keeps her place pretty dumpy." And I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, but other
She's
than that,
relatable.
no." But I really did, and I think you're great. So,
Thank you.
I'm at the point where that's one thing I really love, you know talent right now. I'm at a great place in my life where I can really appreciate someone like you.
Thank
So,
you. And I
I
think you would do pretty good at Laugh Louisville.
no, because I would shoot myself in the parking lot.
Mhm. Okay.
I can't get booked at any of their clubs. Something I said there, I don't know what it was. Anyway,
Maybe it was WIGGA.
maybe my big wigger routine. Yeah, that's what it
Oh, that was it.
was.
Thank you very much. Thank you for talking me up to your friends. And I apologize if she went and looked up me and saw me doing just crowd work clips, but it's all I have right now.
No, no, no. She teases me because she's like, okay, okay, I got it. I said no, but
Uh, I think we have to rephrase you going the point in I'm at the point in my life where I really appreciate talent. No, now that I say it, it sounds good. But I think we have to rephrase it coming out of your mouth.
what do I have to say? I have to. I'm at the point in my life where I really understand when talent is together.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, honestly, that feels even better for
Yeah, Catherine's together. I,
thank you. That
you
feels
know,
better. Yeah, that
that's
feels more Full House.
yeah,
Y.
Full House. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Well,
Thank
listen.
you.
Let me know when you're playing the club. I want to come up.
I will. I'll DM you.
Did we
Appreciate
lose
you.
her? What happened?
No, I know
Was
my
that a
internet
Gen
just
Z
went out.
thing? Did you just flip? You're
I'm back now, right?
you're back. You are.
Okay. Okay.
If you could call it that. Hey, if
um,
you ever want if you ever want Patrick to produce your
Add it
podcast,
to the list.
he's gonna be
Patrick.
he's gonna be
Oh,
looking for a gig real soon.
really?
Yeah,
Patrick,
after
I would
today.
love for real, I need somebody and I need you to stay not
Okay,
on
good to
mute.
know.
I actually need you to have a button to push that you just have a pre-recorded
Perfect.
laugh and then you could fake it and then push the button and then it will do the audio for you so you don't have to
He'll be
fake the
looking
laugh.
for a podcast after today.
Thanks,
So
Catherine.
All
you can
right,
get a hold of
Patrick.
him.
We're about to do the Pat and Cat show. I'll put you first. Thank you so much.
Best of luck
Thank you.
to both of
Toodaloo.
you. Okay. Episode 42 in the clink. She's great. I think she's really fantastic. She's got it. She's got everything you need. She's got I don't know. I know you're not supposed to say she's got balls, you know? She's got comic balls, you know? I don't know. I don't There's no good way to say that, but she's just something about her. She's just got all the steel, all the cojones you need to be just a great comic. I just love her, you know? And she's got it. She's writes great jokes, great bits, tells the truth, stands strong, built strong, lasts long, goddamn good. And she's got so much charisma, and you can tell she wants it too. So, you know, the only thing that I've seen that I would say going against her is she somehow finds you interesting. But, you know,
We did have fun there.
yeah, yeah. But that wears off. You know, that wears off. I can be testament to that.
True. That's very true.
No, I'm teasing you, Patrick. But so that's it. That's another episode. Next week, I love who we got coming up next week. I'm excited about it. Very excited. Thank you so much for tuning in, sticking in, staying around. Please go to Apple, comment, subscribe, star, Spotify. Catch us obviously on our Substack, Stand Up World, on standupworld.com, and on X, formerly known as Prince. That's it. You're the best. I love you. Thank you so much for coming back.